This is Mr. Madrid from the Mr. Madrid Show. We had some technical difficulties. I got my friend on the other side, Dubwork, Lenny, also known as Dubwork.
Yes, sir.
He's somebody who I've had on twice before. We've done some really good building, and I invited him on the show tonight for the first episode of the series, Real Men, Real Talk.
Yeah,
So welcome onto the
facts.
show, Dub. What's up,
Thank you
man?
for having me. Thank you for having me. What's poppin', man? What's good? How you feeling?
Feeling great, bro. Feeling great. I thought it was important to do something like this specifically because of your famous line on my show, take care of your mental and your dentals.
Facts.
I think it brought a lot of humor and it brought a lot of truth to the table. And ever since that point in time, I'm like, I need to do something for us men where we can have an open conversation, and all are welcome. It's not just for men, but it's a platform for us men to talk and have each other's back in a sense. What are your thoughts on that so far?
I think it's lit. I think it's a good idea. I think it's dope. I think men need to talk more often. Like I said before, I think it's super important. I think it's super important that we have spaces that we could talk and be free for sure.
Word up, word up. So before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to my brother-in-law who hooked me up with this shirt, the proud sponsor of this episode right here.
Nice.
Respect the hustle. Shout out to Blue Styles. If you guys need any custom shirts, any of that good stuff, reach out to them. Professional work, baby. Now getting straight to it, let me ask you a question, Doug. What do you feel like today and age being a real man is actually means? Like, what do you think that whole theory, a real man?
True. That's a good question. I feel like being a real man in this day and age is being somebody that definitely follows their word and sticks to their word. You mean what you say and say what you mean. Somebody that takes care of their family, takes care of their kids, and just as a stand-up individual and is able to express themselves freely, say whatever it is that's on their mind, whenever it is that they got to say it. That's what I feel like being a man is these days.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree with you. Is like standing on business, as they say, right? Standing on
Fact.
your word. On
Hmm.
your word means everything. If you don't stand by your word, then you know what kind of man are you? And then also at the same time, I think with being a man, there's a lot of preconditioned notions of what we're supposed to do, what people perceive us as. And you have a lot of times the opposite sex basically calling out what we should be like or what their idea of a real man is. And again, this is for anybody to chime in. Anybody's welcome to have a conversation with us about this. But I also think in the role of being a man, there's a lot of pressures that people don't talk about. And especially us as men, like we feel like we can't have a moment, right? Where we step away from the role as a man and just have a moment to really like feel our feelings. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Have you ever had a moment in life like that, like where you feel like, or the opposite of that, like where you feel like you don't have the right to have certain emotions because you have to be a man?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as men, especially when we're young, we're preconditioned to if you even have an emotional outburst or you start crying, the first thing that people tell you is, yo, stop crying. Like, why are you crying? And
Right.
I feel like it's very normal for a person, not even just a man, a person to cry because even animals, like if you see an animal go through a stressful situation, the first thing that they're going to do is shake it off. Like, and if your thing is that you got to cry, you should let those tears out and shake it off instead of just trying to, like eat that and then you feel crazy because you didn't let that out. So I feel like expressing yourself and letting yourself cry at times is way better than just trying to thug it out and hold it all in because then you have an explosion later on. So I think it's important to express yourself whenever you feel like you have to express yourself and however you
Right.
have to express yourself as long as it's not in a violent way or in a, crazy way.
That's the key there too. Like something you said about as far as like the violence of things. Like as men, especially depending if you come from inner cities, like we have. Whenever you stand for something, it almost always goes back to like getting busy, like putting hands up and so on to prove your point or to show that you're really about your word. And that's where I think as men we come to a point where being a man is just that, is being able to have a conversation, being okay with going into conflict and not having to throw hands and having a real conversation where you don't have to agree with another man or a woman for that matter, but as long as there's common respect and you feel confident enough where you can go ahead and have that conversation, you know what I mean? and not have to end up in a place where violence takes action. I think that's where one of the pressures of being a man comes into play. What do you think are some pressures that men face that people don't really talk about?
Definitely the pressure of, like I said, the pressure of not being able to express yourself. Like, and it's just something that I talk about in the breathwork stuff that I do. Like, if you don't express, which is like Xing the pressure, then you're holding it all in and you're penting up all that energy inside. So it's very important that you express yourself in any way. And I feel like I said, we're preconditioned to not be allowed to do that. And yeah, it's stupid. It's dumb.
No doubt, the pressure that we face as men that we don't really talk about. I'll give you some examples too, and I want to hear about the breath work because I think that that brings a load of peace into one's life, right? But like as
Definitely.
far as the pressures of the money expectations of what a man should or shouldn't be doing, the pressures are of providing and being the sole provider of anything. Like I'm pretty sure you've seen those videos on Instagram and TikTok of men talking about like I don't let my woman work to pay bills.
Yeah.
Like I'm the man. I take on 100% of all the bills and all that stuff. Like if I could have it my way, 100%. I don't want my wife working. But then this
Facts.
is the real world, bro. Like we're a team, and eventually, if I get to that point, you never have to work another day in your life.
Of
But it's a
course.
team. Like we're in the building stages of hopefully we get to that level. But if we don't, we're equally yoked. We're both putting in the same amount of work. Like things like that. That's what I'm talking about as far as the
Yeah.
pressures, because that is huge, bro. That is huge. Like the pressures of having enough money to pay bills, the expectations, all those things. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are some of those things that you know about or have felt that you feel like people don't talk about when it
Yeah,
comes to men's
definitely
pressures?
the pressure that society puts on us men to provide and be sometimes a sole provider is a lot. I feel like in today's day and age, that's not as easy, especially with how the economy is going. Like, it's not as easy to be a sole provider and just
Right.
hold it down by yourself. That's not an ideal situation. If you can, God bless. If you're blessed with that ability, then God bless. But I feel like in this day and age, a lot of men and women, got to put in work. And sometimes women can get even better positions than us these days. So
All right.
if you got to do that and that works, there's no judgment from me, and I feel like it's cool if it works out. And if you have the ability to provide for your wife and it works out for you, then God bless, do that also.
Right.
But I feel like you can't let the pressure of what you see on social media and comparing yourself to somebody else's race determine what's going on in your household, because every situation is,
Yeah, yeah. And it's also like you only see the outside. Like the grass is always greener because similar to social media where people always post the best parts of their lives. They're not really posting the struggle and the
facts.
things that they go through day in and day out. So when you start
Facts.
the comparing, and again, this is for both men and women, we get lost in the sauce in that aspect. Shout out to everybody that has joined the live. See my boy Janice, the wife is on here, my boy Hector. Appreciate the love and support. Where do you feel like as men we're losing right now? What battles are we losing?
Feel like men don't get together like men used to get together. Like men used to get together uh for, I'm going back to like tribal things. Like men used to get together and just go hunt, right? And while men was hunting, we would talk about different things, stand under the fire, converse, and just be men. And I feel like we hardly do that.
Right,
It's like women are meeting up way more and chilling with their girls way more than men, because sometimes we have a whole bunch of pressure and sometimes we feel like, I don't want to bother my man's. He got a lot going on just because you got a lot going on. But I think
right,
it's very important that men meet up and just shoot the shit, just talk, because every time that me and my peoples meet up, it'd be like, oh shoot, we all going through similar shit. Like we're
right,
all
right,
going through similar things. And every time that I go to my men's circle, it's like, wow, we're all going through the same thing. And when you hear it, that pressure doesn't feel as heavy. When you hear that your boy, your comrade, your coworker is also going through the same thing, is also beefing with his wife, is also, like, it's like, okay, I'm
right.
not alone. But when you isolate and don't talk to anybody, then you just go in circles in your head and you think that you're alone, and then you don't hit people up. And I've been there before. Like I just isolate and be like, yeah, man, I'm not gonna hit nobody. I don't want to be complaining, or have the little circle of complaints that we're all just complaining about shit. But that shit helps. It helps to let it out and know that you're not
Yeah,
the
man.
only person going through it, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like I think that the way I could compare it too is like those moments in parenthood for anybody on here that has kids and stuff like that. When you see other kids losing it in the store. Like we're all those new parents where we're like, our kids would never do that until your kid is in Target losing their shit.
Yeah,
And then you're like, what do I do? So it's kind of comforting when you see it, not that we're looking down, but it's like it's comforting to know like we're all on the same thing. This parenthood thing is similar for all of us. We all have kids that just lose it and we're all dealing with kind of the same things. It's the same thing for us men in this brotherhood when we're able to get together and shoot the shit and kind of talk about whatever's going on. And the reason that I think it needs to happen more is because it's not going to take one conversation, one time that you guys get together to shoot the shit for you to really open up. It's just like when you meet somebody for the first time, you're not dishing out all your dirty laundry immediately, or maybe not at all ever. But that's stuff that, like I was a person that always started people at 100 and it was up
yeah,
to them to lose that. Now I'm like, you start at 0 and we build to the point that I can confide in you, right? And
facts.
that's what I think it is. We need to be more comfortable as men coming together and shooting this shit and seeing who we can trust and building from there. Like this is not saying just pick anybody from the street randomly, but you know who your boys are, who you can pick up the phone, and the same person that you would call to go have a drink with or go do some hook, whatever it is, bro. You know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
hit that person up. You'd be surprised how many of us share the same struggles, how many of us are having relationship issues, our kids are not listening. Like it's comforting, bro. It's comforting to know that you're not on this in this battle by yourself. Hector here said he agreed. Just grabbing a beer and catching up is a great feeling. 100%,
Yeah,
man.
man. Yeah,
And if you don't
it's
drink, like
important.
you, a cup of coffee, bro. Cup of coffee solves wars, bro.
For real, whatever it is, just linking up. It could be just linking up to walk in the park and chill. Whatever it is, it helps, because just being in it, like really being in it in the real world every day and not getting a break to just, yo, man, let's just get out of it real quick and just walk
Right.
around and just talk. It's hard to just be in it. It's like being in a freaking NBA game for 24 hours. It's like you're gonna get exhausted. You're gonna get mentally spent. Like, eventually you're gonna catch a cramp, you're gonna lose it, you're gonna scream at your coach. So it's like you gotta take a time out and chill real quick, drink some Gatorade and relax, and then come back into the game,
Right.
regather with the team, be like, okay, all right, let's get our shit together. Oh shit, you're going through that? Okay, cool. And then, all right, let's get back in the game. But it's important, man. It's literally like going nonstop if you don't.
So, two questions for you, right? You
Yeah,
You were a city kid like myself. You chose to move out to Puerto Rico, and I see you on the gram living a wonderful life. I know we also spoke about like you see the where the grass is greener, but you don't
yeah,
see when I'm
facts.
working a double or something like that right after this at
Hmm.
7 o'clock. And, what do you say made you make that decision for people that don't know? Like, why would somebody go from living in New York City or New Jersey or Florida and just choose to pick up and bounce? Is it a level of what we're talking about, like the pressures of being a man, or is it just seeking a better life?
For real, the city was just overwhelming, and it got very redundant. I was working this hospital gig that it was a cool gig. It was, it was good. It was a union job. A lot of people would say you're tripping for leaving this. All you got to do is, a little 20 years and then you're done. You got your pension. But it was killing me every day going there. Like it was just killing me slowly, and I needed, like, the fact that it would just be in winter for 10 months was killing me. Like, I needed to
Right.
be in the heat. I needed to feel good. It was important to just leave. Like, I couldn't see myself doing that for another 20 years. And as hard as it gets sometimes being here without my peoples, because it gets lonely too. It's cool, it's tropics, but it gets lonely sometimes too. It's better for my mentals, me being here, than being in New York City, super cold for the whole winter, a couple blocks away from my friends. And yeah, we get together and we drink and we do whatever. But at the end of the day, I just wasn't happy with it. And I needed that escape. I needed to get out of there, man. Things just felt like, yeah, man, this is the same shit all the time. Like,
every
this is
day.
the same thing every single day. I'm on the train. I come home, I do whatever, I drink a beer. It just was turning into like a cycle that I didn't like.
Yeah, it's almost like you want to zone out from your 9 to 5, and then you come home to want to zone out to where you're at that moment. So it's like a constant. That's why personally, like and we got a couple more people in the live. I appreciate everybody joining on. I got Denise on here, and I think this is Jen. Shout out to you guys. I mean, I think and everybody in here for the most part lives in Florida. Most people here are in New York. That's the thing too, is for me is like, and I'm sorry to you folks out in New York, but like dealing with the going outside in the cold, and then during daylight savings, once that hits in the wintertime, 4 or 5 o'clock is dark. It's almost like the lights are out. It's a whole different world. You go into hibernation mode.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
encouraging anybody that's up in New York to move down to Florida or Puerto Rico. But the follow-up question to that, Dub, was I seen you do something like a men's group. And what
Yeah.
I thought was so fly about that is that you're advocating for men getting together and having conversations. And I think you do some breath work with that. What
Facts.
inspired you to create that circle of men, and talk to us about the breath work that you do to help them out as well?
Dope, dope. So it wasn't me that started the men's circle. I was going to this men's circle with this program that I was rocking with. They had like free men's circles on the beach, and then it extended to some younger cats saw me doing that, and they was like, "Yo, we'd love for you to lead a men's circle." And then I drifted off and did my own thing. But yeah, man, it was just a safe space that it was literally men that I didn't even know, strangers. And then when we met and it was the same common ground, it was like, oh, shoot, we're going through the same thing. Like, I don't even know this person. This person comes from a totally different walk of life. He does a totally different profession, but he's still going through the same exact thing. So it just
Right.
brings a togetherness uh to know that we're all going through the same thing. It was dope to just meet up on the beach in the morning times. We would meet up at 7 o'clock and we were out of there by 8:30, and we would just do some breath work, do some meditation, have a talk, and then we'd have like something called like the pit, where one man would jump into the pit and then he would express a frustration or something that he's going through, and then everybody would ask him questions, right? So it wasn't advice. You can't give advice. Everybody would ask him questions so that he can figure it out himself. So
Right.
it's not us telling you, yo, man, what you should do is this. Nah, it was, yo, so what do you think you could do differently about this? Or what do you think you could try to do? So he's really figuring it out on himself. And when
Right.
you speak, it was really important that you use I statements, right? It wasn't no, well, men go through this. Cause it's easy to say, yo, men go through this. You know how we be doing this? Nah, it's I I be wildin'.
I'll be
I
wild.
yeah, like I be wildin'. I, so taking ownership of that was really important. And it's power in saying I do this. I be da 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 da. I'm going through this. Me as a man, when I get angry, I react this way. I think it's power in using I. So that's pretty much what we did on the beach, man. It's dope. It's really dope.
So, with the experience that you had there in creating a circle like that, what do you think? And not to give away anybody's personal stuff, but what do you think the biggest common struggle was in getting those men to open up and let out some of that, the frustrations or just things that they had in mind? What do you think was their biggest struggle with that?
To be completely honest, it wasn't that much of a struggle in getting men to open up. It was literally, when a new man came, he would be a little more reserved. But
Right.
by the second, third time he got there, man, he's hearing so much of other people going through similar things that they were able to open up, man. And it would be like, bro, it'd be men in tears, like literally talking about, yo, bro, I went to this job interview and yo, I really thought I was gonna get the job, man, and I didn't get the job. And, I'm super discouraged about that. And I just don't know what I'm gonna do now. And, everybody would just be like, I feel that, bro. Like it's rough. And it was just a space where you felt like you were held and you were able to process your emotions. And
Right.
it really wasn't that much of a struggle per se, because it takes a certain kind of man to even pull up to a men's circle, right? Like it takes a certain type of man to have that accountability to know that, yeah, man, I actually have to go speak to somebody. Because like, even I have some friends that still to this day joke like, oh yeah, you're going to your kumbaya circle. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm going to my men's circle. Facts. Like, and
Yeah.
I just know that they're not there yet. They can't face their feelings yet. And that's okay. And when they get to that point, I'm right here for you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did something one time where I became part of a church group, and like I moved somewhere in Florida in Claremont where I originally, before moving there, I would have to drive like 45 minutes to an hour to go to church. And that was my excuse, right? I can't go to church because I don't want to drive an hour out. And then
Yeah.
it flipped. We moved to a community where we could walk to the church. And here in Florida, you
Fire.
can't walk anywhere. So that's how close we were, where we could just walk there. We got baptized and all that stuff. And then ultimately, I heard about a men's group. Somebody invited me to it. And this is also to encourage men out there who, let's call it for what it is, maybe a little shy, don't know what to do. I
Yeah.
was that dude, right? And you don't, by all means, like, you don't have to go to a church. Dubwork has something at the beach in Puerto Rico that was fly. So you look for the ambiance that fills you, right?
Yeah.
Or pours into you. But for me, I went to the church. It took like 2 3 times for me to break out of my shell, for me to
Yeah.
be like, first I got there and I'm gonna keep it real. I was judging them. I'm hearing these stories. I'm like, oh man, this dude, this, that, the next. And then you go the next time, you're like, damn, like I'm kind of going through the same things this dude is going. And then by the third time, you couldn't shut me up. I'm talking, we're breaking bread, we're having conversations, giving each other's our phone numbers, being a
Uh-huh.
real support system where it goes from like, you know, putting up that wall to slowly putting it down, and then eventually just getting into it. And that's why I highly encourage anybody out there, have some camaraderie with your fellow men, fellow women. We need that. We need
Yeah.
more of it. And
Yeah.
it's okay. Like we all take L's in life, and it's okay to have a conversation with somebody who's open to letting you get that off your chest. And even if you find common ground, I think that's sometimes my issue when I get into conversations with people. Like I'm so quick to want to show somebody like, yeah, I've been through that. Let me tell you. And it's like I need to shut up sometimes and just let the person talk and get
Facts.
theirs off, because I'm trying to tell you like, yo, I've been there before. Like I went through something similar. And then sometimes when you do that, you close the person off.
Yep.
So that's one piece of advice I would give. If you do end up in a circle where you're the one listening, let the person just, and as you build that relationship, that's when you start, giving them a little bit about your testimony on things that worked out for you and things of that. Got
Yeah.
my dog Ricardo said, quick to listen, slow to respond.
Yeah.
Facts.
I feel
I
like
love that.
it's a skill to be able to hold space for somebody to be able to talk, and you not immediately jumping in and wanting to give advice, because like you said, you shut people off sometimes because now
Right.
they want to hear your experience and how you handled it. And maybe
Right.
the way you handled it might be different from how they handled it. And based on what you said, you might shut them down from, damn, I tripped out
Yeah.
and I screamed and I wilded out and I started crying and broke down. So now they're like, oh, he didn't have that reaction. So, like it turns into like how men is, like we're men. It
Yeah.
turns into like a little bit of a competition. So I feel like being able to hold space and let people express how they're feeling, and like I said, not give advice, just listen and maybe just ask questions, right? And let them work through it themselves is very helpful sometimes.
I like that philosophy that you have. My wife said, you can't be giving out the special sauce that we use in the house, babe. She said, because it's something that she always tells me when she sees that I'm at odds or something like that. She's like, "Do you just want to vent, or do you want advice? Like, and it's so funny the way she asked the question because she's like, she doesn't know which way, which you can do that as well, right? Like, whatever works, so however you can get the person to open up to you, ultimately wins.
That's fire.
And
No,
and that's the main
I
thing,
love
right?
that. I love that she said that because that is 100% like sometimes I don't need advice, man. And I don't want advice. Sometimes I just want to
Right.
just listen to me, yo. Just hear me out. Let me
Yeah.
vent, man. And don't give me any advice. Like we're so quick as humans to try to fix things and give a
Yeah.
solution. And sometimes people don't want a solution or for you to fix. Sometimes they just want to be heard, whether it's your partner or whether it's your man's. And
Yeah.
just because you might have gone through it doesn't mean that they want to hear your experience of
Yeah.
what you went through, man. So sometimes they just want to be heard. And it's important to be able to have the skill to listen and just chill.
Right, right. It's funny because, like I said in the beginning, like I'm always quick to trying to find common ground, and there's times that my wife, my partner in life, she'll tell me, she's like, I need you to listen, and
Facts.
it's a quick like, just shh, very respectfully. Question for you, Dub. Do you feel like that's why you really dive into your craft that you're very skilled at in hip hop? The fact that you put everything on a paper, um, or on a track, and that's it. Like you just put it out there, you release
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
and
it's
then you
important for
you
me. Yeah,
you
it's super important for me, man. It's like my therapy. It's when I let it out, it's like it's like a weight off of me that I need to let out. Like I can't. And sometimes there's things that it's harder to write and get through, but it is something that I have to do. I have to express it, whether it's showing love to my moms or writing a song about my dad or writing a song about a loss that I might have had. It's super important for me to express it. Just the other day, I wrote a song, right, about I had my boy passed, my girl's father passed, a couple people passed in like the past 3 months, like the past couple months. It's been a lot of losses in a row, like in a row. Like literally, I got
right.
the news of my boy passing when I was at my girl's dad's funeral, and I wrote a song about it, right? And the funny thing that not the funny thing, the Fruity Loop session like just got messed up and I
Yeah,
lost like half of it, right? And I was like so tight about it, like for a little bit. Like I was like, damn, yo, that was beautiful. Like that I was able to get that out. Like, and then I sat with it and I was like, yo, man, maybe it was just for me. Like I feel like I
yeah,
do feel good that I was able to express it. And if I'm able to complete it, I'm able to complete it. But just in that little hour, I was able to just let out how I feel. I was able to speak to my boy's dad on the song. Like, and
mm,
that song might not even ever come out, but it
you had to
felt
get that off.
super good. Like it felt
Yeah,
mad
yeah.
good to just get it out, man, for real, for real. So
That's
yeah,
awesome. For anybody in the chat here, Dubwork is a hip hop artist. He's actually one of my favorite artists from New York City that I listen to all the time. Like my wife hears me listening to him. I love supporting people that I know are within my circle or people that I know of, because
appreciate
that's
that,
just
man.
the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. But check him
Appreciate it.
out, Dubwork. He's on all streaming platforms. He's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. There's, if you want to tell him real quick, the place where I bought your album. If
Yeah, the
you
Even
guys are into
Exchange
supporting,
platform, that's where my latest project is at. That's where it's living right now, but we're gonna come to streaming real soon. So I'm gonna put it up on streaming soon. So right now, if you want to support the album, it's up direct to consumer. You can pay what you want on the Even Exchange platform, but it will be up on streaming, and then we got another project coming up soon.
amazing. So getting back to like the brotherhood, right? Why do you feel like some men close off where they once upon a time were part of a circle, and I think anybody could relate to this, where you had somebody that you were tight with, and then they kind of branched off, and just like you don't hear from them anymore. But it's not just that you don't hear from them; they completely shut down. Like they're not the same person. What do you
Yeah.
think happens to people like that, or specifically like men? What is it about society? What is it about just the world that we're living in that could cause somebody just to remove themselves?
I want to be completely honest because I've been that person, right? Like I've been totally present and then I just totally shut off. And usually what it is you just get overwhelmed with everything that's going on in your life. And you feel that you just get tired sometimes of talking about the same issue sometimes.
Mm,
And it just
right.
feels like, damn, yo, I don't want to be the same. I got the same complaints. Sometimes I don't want to call, my cousin or the same person and just still have the same complaints. It's like you judge yourself and you're like, yo, you still got the same issues. You still dealing with the same problems. You still don't got the job you want. You still don't get everything you like, you still ain't getting the bread you want. Like, and it'd be like, yeah, man, I just gotta tighten up and isolate. In my head, you think that that's the right thing to do when it's the dumbest thing to do, because when you isolate, now what's happening is that you're thinking about it more and more and more, and you're going
Yeah.
in circles over and over. And maybe it's because of that, or maybe it's because of this. And yo, this person, I don't rock with this person, and I don't rock with this person. And it just gets ugly. So I feel like what happens is that people get, in a sense, embarrassed that they're dealing with the same issues over and over when we all go, life is in cycles and you go through different things. And it's important to speak to people. It's important to hit your peoples and not isolate. I'm saying that to myself.
Yeah, and I think what's important too is like even saying what you're saying. Like I'll share a similar experience, whereas like you get tired of hearing the same things, the same old stories about the had it, right? That's a Jada line. I don't want to hear none of that, bro. For me, everything is about progressing, how we're gonna move forward. I don't want to hear old stories about days you used to hustle, you had this, you had that. Like, how do
Yeah.
we move forward from where we're at right now? How can we
Yeah.
make something happen? And those are the type of conversations that move me, right? That feed my soul. Whereas
Yeah.
like people are trying to make it happen. They're not trying to just lay there dormant. And I think to answer the question I asked you, like why do people move away from certain circles? I feel like when people are dormant and you see that there's no progression from where they're at and you've been around that circle or person for an extended period of time, you get tired of that. Like you no longer,
Facts.
and it's not that if you don't have enough people around you, then obviously you go and isolate by yourself.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes you need to get away from those type of folks, and
Yeah.
it's that's where the friction is caused. Whereas like, are you adding to the brotherhood, or are you taking away from it? Are you subtracting from it? Because
Yeah.
ultimately, like we need to pour into each other's cups, right, and feed off of each other, and how we're gonna move forward. Like one of the things that I'm a big believer in is like they always say either don't do business with family or things like that, or don't do business with friends. If I can't make money with somebody who I love or a friend of mine, that's a full circle moment, right? I think
Yeah.
that's brotherhood. That's the whole thing of lifting each other up. I want to do that. I like how do you feel about something like that? Like when they say don't do business with good friends, or because it always ends up like for me, who better to build something with than somebody
Yeah.
that you have love with? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What are your thoughts
I'm
on that?
I'm big on that. First, let me touch on what you said about the past, like, and the future and shit like that. Like, when you stuck in the past, right? When you're stuck in the past, it's a cycle that usually gets you depressed when you're stuck in the past. And then
Right.
when you constantly thinking about the future, it just makes you anxious and gives you anxiety. So it's easier said than done. But trying to stay present is mad important. Like trying to stay present. Like, yo, man, right now, I'm alive. Right now, my shirt is not wrinkled. I got a nice hat on. I got lotion on. I don't feel crusty. I got some nice jeans on. Yo, this is fire. This is dope.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm speaking to my dog. We're talking about some real shit. Like staying present is mad dope,
Right.
right? And then when you're thinking about the future, which is easier said than done because I be stressing and I be anxious, it's at least try to think, yo, man, what if it all works out?
Right.
What if it all works out, man? Fuck it. What if it
Yeah.
all works out? And then your question was, what was the last thing you said?
Well, we were talking about like doing
Making money
building
with your
with somebody.
people.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I'm big on that. Like I feel like all my music is a lot of my music is centered around that. Like, I want to get bread and I want to break bread with my people. I want to get
Right.
bread and I want to put my people in position until, until they show me otherwise and let me down. And then, you showed your true colors and I got to let go of you. And I can't,
Yeah.
I can't do business. But I'm on the side of, I'd rather do business with my people first. I'd rather break bread with my people first. And if they show me that, they're a snake or otherwise, then cool. I learned that, it was a learning experience and I can let go of that.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that I might let go of the relationship. We're going to let go of that business part of it because you can't do business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all love. We could still be cool. But yeah, I'm a big believer in getting money with your friends. I talk about that all the time. Like,
Yeah, man. I think it's extremely important. Like, they always say like what is the saying? Like at work, when you work corporate, they always try to keep you away from building relationships. But like I met my wife at work.
yeah,
Like what you
yeah,
mean I can't make relationships with people? Like one of the
hmm
best relationships I had with my boy David has been I met him at work. And like I always
facts,
told him, I'm like if there's any chance that we could make some money together, I'd rather make it with you than a stranger, right?
exactly,
Shout out to my brother-in-law. He joined on here, Richie. Shout out to him. He's the one that makes these shirts. We also
fire,
do so that's a testament within itself. We co-founded a window cleaning and pressure washing business together.
fire.
So he's somebody like I go to his house, he comes to my house. My brother-in-law. I am a pain in the ass to him. He'll probably put that in the chat. But it's all part of business. We want the best for each other, and that's why I think it's important to do, if you can, to make some bread with somebody who you have love for, because ultimately you want to see each other win, right?
Facts.
You want
Facts.
that. You want the best for the other person. So in this case, like my brother-in-law, we have this business. He has another business where he makes shirts, and I represent that because I want to support him. I want to see him excel because and I'm a firm believer also, Dub, when one of us wins in the circle, we all win and we just keep
100%.
it moving.
100%. There's nothing that I like more than wearing a merch that my boy made. Like, I'm wearing this hat. My boy made this hat. Like, I wear my people's with way more
Yeah.
pride than I rock some Nikes or rock some whatever. Like, it just feels better. Like, my boy Pablo, made by Pablo, he made these shirts, bro. And I wear those shirts every day. And
Word
they
up.
are faded and hurt now, but it just has an emotional value to me. I'm like, yo, my man made
Yeah.
this shirt. Like, this shit is fire. Like, I wear it
Yeah.
with pride. I love supporting merch that my people makes.
Yeah, man.
I'm copping that quicker than I cop anything else, especially if
Yeah.
it's fire. Like, if it's some dirt, then, it's go
And
back to
one
the
thing,
drawing
just
board.
just just to put it out there, don't be asking for no discounts if you family or friend. Like
Facts.
pay the price, bro. Right?
Facts.
Like pay
Facts.
the price. You know what I mean? Like we're all trying to make a living out here. Like I used to tell my boy David, like I wanted a hammock. He makes hammocks and stuff, right? Hammock companies charge like $60, $80.
Facts.
His were this is like 4 or 5 years ago was 40. But I was like, yo, here's the $40, bro. I want to
Mm-hmm.
support you in your business. So if you have friends or
100%.
family that have businesses, support, man, 100%. You were gonna spend that money elsewhere anyway. Now, if they give you a
Exactly.
deal, they give you a deal. That's a steal. What
Yeah.
are we gonna say?
Yeah.
Now, going back to like the family, shout out to everybody. Let's see we got some comments here. Some people are seasonal and you outgrow them. Big facts. My boy Rick said, I think we were talking about something else. He said a pruning season. I didn't know what that meant exactly. He said not everything you lose is a loss. Oof. God
Facts.
damn. Some
Bars.
things are being cut so you can actually grow.
Yeah,
Talk to him.
that's what pruning is.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I didn't know. See, he
Yeah.
just dropped some game on me. Let's see. One of us has to pull us all out of the ghetto.
Facts, B.
um,
Facts.
but okay, another thing too. So going
Mhm.
back to the being men and supporting one another. How do we feel about holding each other accountable and not letting a fellow brother or sister, right? Let's chime in the women on this too. Fill themselves up with excuses and hold somebody you love accountable. How do we feel about that?
I think it's very important to hold people that are near and dear to you accountable because who else is going to do it? I feel like it's mad important that you're able to have those conversations, which are sometimes difficult with people that you love. I'd rather hear it from somebody that means something to me if I'm messing up, if I'm
Right.
not living to a standard that they know that I should be living. I want to hear it. if you see me lacking, I want you to tell me that I'm lacking. And I want to be able to tell you that too. And for you not to take it
Right.
personal or take it as me trying to get at you in any type of way. I feel it's mad important to hold your partner or anybody accountable, man. And it's something that I always do and continue to do. And there's sometimes that I'm looked at like the bad guy for that, or the person that talks, you be shooting from the hip all the times, Dub, and it'd be like, I'm just trying to say what it is, man. I'm not trying to shoot you in any
Yeah,
way.
man.
I'm just telling
Yeah.
you what I see, and I want better for you. I want better for us. And if you in my circle, I never want somebody else saying, "Oh yeah, yo, Dubs be with this, that be doing
Mhm.
this," and nah, I want us all to be straight. I want us all to be stand up. And I feel that's super important.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's also not so much reputation, but it's like the company you keep, man. Like if you let somebody come outside who's just not all together, and you're constantly with that person and you don't speak up and let them know where they may be falling short, what are you really there for? So
Facts.
I can appreciate when somebody, holds me accountable and basically, puts me on game. You know what I'm saying? Like even with music, I'm not sure because you're pretty fly at what you do, a dub. But once in a while, like it has to be somebody you have love and respect for that could really say like, "Yo, this verse or this bar is like kind of out of pocket. It's not really hitting the way
Yeah.
that your
No,
music
yeah.
always hits."
Yeah, no,
That
my
stings, especially for a creative to like take in. And
yeah,
I'll
no,
share this. Go ahead,
shoot.
to Dub.
Yeah, nah, I have like I feel like one of the only people that be keeping it 100 with me is one of my brothers, Will Crump. Like I'll
Mhm.
spit something and send it to him. He'll be like, "Yo, bro, can you say this? Like, can you say this like you give a shit? Like, say this. Like, say it with your chest, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's like too laid back." And sometimes I get defensive, and I'm like, "Yo, man, this the feeling that I was trying to have on it. Not everything is gonna be me screaming, da 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 da." And then when I sit back, I'm like, yo, he's right, man. I could spit
yeah,
this over again, man. I could say this
yeah, yeah,
better. So it gets me tight at first, but I
yeah.
respect it every time, man. I respect it every time.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say a lot of times, and I think it's almost all the time, 100% of the time. My wife could attest to this. When somebody says something to me, they give me feedback or any of the above. If it's true, 9 out of 10 times, it always pisses me off. But
Yeah.
I don't lash out. I don't talk back. I just take it in and I like soak in it a little bit. That's just the way I process things.
Mm-hmm.
And I know typically when something that somebody said bothers me is because it's fucking true,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'll come back. I come back around. Like I'll the next time I talk to the person or something like that, I'm like, yo, that shit that you said the other day, I didn't like it, but I appreciate it
Yeah. Facts.
because
Facts.
it's true. What you said was true, and that's the type of love and accountability partners you want to have, man. So the next order here, what do you think separates men who grow versus men that stay stuck? That's a good question.
Men that grow, going back to what we were talking about, can take accountability, can take advice, can say, yo, you know what? You was right. I didn't like what you
Yeah,
said, but you was right. They can not get super emotional or angry at another person's opinion on something that you're doing. Yeah, I feel like that's what separates, men that grow and men that stay in the same place. If you have a bunch of yes men around you that's just praising you and telling you, yeah, man, you're doing everything good and shoot, you don't got to do nothing. You don't got to get another job. Yo, bro, we good right here. Like, I feel like
yeah,
you're never going to grow and you just stay stuck. And then you look back when you're old and you like, damn, I could have went harder.
yeah.
I should have asked that girl to dance. I should have did this. I don't want to have mad shouldas on my death.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I can't,
Yeah,
I gotta go hard. I gotta do everything that I wanted to do. I gotta try to do that thing. I gotta it's weird that I always bring it to dancing. It's weird. Like it's always like, yo, man, because there was a lot of times as a youngin', right, that I would go to parties and I wouldn't dance. And I would be sick about that. Like
on the way
after
home, right?
on the way home, I'm like, yo,
Yes.
you a
Why
bird,
didn't I
my
get up?
brother. You didn't
I don't know
dance?
why.
Like, so now
I
when I
hear
be at parties,
Elvis
boy,
Crespo songs playing, and I'm like, yo, that was my joint.
like, yeah, bro, like Farolito came on and you didn't dance, my brother. Like you wildin'. Like, it's so I'm big on that now. Like, when I go to a party, man, I'm gonna dance, man. Even if I'm dancing with
Yeah,
a little kid or like a
yeah,
baby,
yeah,
Imma grab a
yeah,
baby and Imma dance the night away,
yeah,
bro, because you
yep.
never know, man, and you don't wanna be in your deathbed like, "Yo, damn, yo, I didn't really do it how I wanted to do it. I didn't
Yeah,
express
enjoy
that
life,
joy like I
baby.
wanted to express it, man." Like, I think
And
it's
that's what you
important.
spoke about earlier, like living in the moment. Like we're so caught up with things that are not even happening yet that we miss the now. And I think what does it for me is my kids, bro. Whereas like I'm on a tag, I'm doing some. My son is like he'll randomly come. You want to go play pool, Dad? Let's go fishing. And he's talking about living in the moment. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you know how it is to be a parent. Like, oh, in an hour or whatever. Like they want it
Mhm.
now.
Yeah,
So if
exactly.
anybody's going to hold you accountable to living in the moment is going to be kids because
Yeah.
all they know is now. They're not
Yep.
worried about what happened yesterday when you played with me for an hour or two.
Yeah.
What's up right now?
What's good right
I
now?
don't care who
Yeah.
got next. I got now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's the truth of the matter. And you raised like even you talking about the dancing. I felt that for so long being a kid. That's why now like I love dancing, bro. I'll put videos online. Like I think I told you, like salsa is
Yo,
in my
I
soul,
love
bro.
it.
I
Yeah.
I throw on some salsa in the morning. Like my wife does it. She used to do it to me. She still does. Like if I'm feeling a little groggy, she'll throw on some salsa. If it's really early in the morning, some Barry White just gets me right. Like it,
Mhm.
she throws that on, and I'm like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? That's why I love music.
Yeah.
The last question that I want to cover with you is what do you think about the word legacy? Because as men, right, we pound our chest and we want to leave a legacy, but that causes pressure within itself. What do you think legacy is to you, and what would you want your legacy to be?
When I think of legacy, honestly, think of like my great great grandkids. Like if my great great grandkids have a painting or something of me, like I could still be remembered by my great great grandkids, I think I did it pretty big. Like if they could
Mm.
say, yo, damn, yo, he's the one that set it up. Like, like how the Rothschilds are like not saying that those are good people or, people that set up their family in a way that, yo, my great great grandfather did it, bro. Like I'm sitting in here in this crib because of the effort that my great great grandfather did. Like if I could live two generations and still be relevant, I feel like, I did it up. And with music, if I could create some music that like how we still listen to Big and how we still listen to Michael Jackson and how we still like salsa. Salsa is timeless, bro. Like
Yeah.
you listen to a salsa siempre seré and that shit still feels like it's so fire, like it's timeless. It feels like it's new music. It makes me feel mad happy,
Right.
like it brings me back to a time and I feel like I want to leave that legacy. I want to bring joy to people or happiness or even just comfort, whether it be financial or yeah, man, great granddad did it up big. So now we chilling right here and he left us this trust and he left us these things that, I didn't, not that now I could slack, but because of him, there's some comfort in our life.
Yeah, we all
And
right. We all right. We all right. We could take that. What is it called? Like that finding myself vacation after college,
yeah,
and
yeah,
take a year or
yeah.
two off, or even before college.
Yeah, go backpack and go chill
Yeah,
and,
go
and
back,
figure your
see the world,
yeah,
and all that. One track that I want to give off to everybody watching on here, anybody that listens to this afterwards or views it. There's a track that Dubwork did called Pressure. Go and
yeah.
listen to it. And then DM me and give me your thought, or DM him and then express what you felt about that track. Because just the beginning when he starts talking, feeling so much pressure. Oh, and it's one of those songs that, and I've told you this before, Dub, like I listen to when I'm feeling pressure, and then
Mhm.
just the beat, the way he's rapping, like the messaging that he drops on that song is amazing and is very powerful. So when we're talking about the pressures of, damn, what a way to close this out. That wasn't even planned, Dub. That
Fire,
wasn't planned, ladies and gentlemen.
fire.
But when dealing with the pressures of being a man, being a father, being a leader of a home, there's a lot of pressure that comes behind it, and we're all figuring it out as we go along. Nobody's perfect. We're going to make mistakes. Be comfortable with the mistakes you make as long as you're not breaking any hearts or causing any harm. Those
Yeah,
mistakes make you who you are, so you can
facts.
collect some more W's on your path on this journey we call life. With that said, I want to thank you, Dubwork, for joining this. This is
Yes,
the
sir.
first of a series called Real Men, Real Talk. that
Facts.
I'll be putting out there every first Wednesday of every month. I think it's
Nice.
very important to put this out, and I appreciate you, man, for jumping on and sharing some of your thoughts and answering the questions that I had for you. Anything that you want to give off to the people before we wrap this up?
First and foremost, thank you for having me, man. I think I want to leave it off with, if you're going through whatever you're going through, just know that you're not alone. Just know that there's a lot of people going through similar things. And if you need to reach out to anybody, reach out to your friends, reach out to your parents, reach out to anybody that's willing to listen and vent, talk, speak, do anything but hurt yourself
Right.
or isolate, which hurts yourself. Yeah, man.
And Dub, hit them with the slogan, bro.
And take
Take
care of your
care.
mentals and your dentals, man. That's important, man. That's important. Super important.
And that's how we're going to close out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight on this live. I appreciate every one of you. Like I
Yes,
said
sir.
early on, this shirt was made by my brother-in-law, Blue Styles.
Fire.
He has a lot of stuff coming out on Shopify. Check him out, Blue Styles, on Instagram and all that stuff. Check out Dubwork's boy who makes his shirt. What was his name again, Dub?
Which
Pablo.
made by Pablo. He hasn't made nothing in a little minute, but his stuff is still fire. Yeah.
Dope. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining this live with us. We
Yes.
appreciate you. Have a buenas noches.
Good night.